So student would be worrying about the cutoff and which question is right, which question is wrong, which should go into the so disputed one, like this. You need to change the strategy and first shift your orientation towards the mains aspect now. Okay, so this is one of the challenge, the shifting from the prelims towards the mains. So the mains advanced program is specifically planned for those students who have some basic idea about general studies. See, I'd like to tell the same thing. Please don't waste time in contemplating about the prelims cutoff and all. So whatever you do, UPSC will always surprise you. You may be thinking that you are in the border, you may not clear. Okay, so let's plan for next year. And UPSC will come out with a surprise that you are qualifying, and you will tend to see that you should have prepared earlier.
Hello, and welcome to this special edition of Vision IAS related to upcoming Mains 2025. Today, we will talk about subjects of geography, environment, and disaster management and Vision IAS Mains Advanced course with our esteemed faculty member, Rajesh sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Kapil.
Sir, before we start, prelims is just over now, and a lot of students are having anxious thoughts about whether they will make or not, and they are also wasting some time in that. So, what is the best way to utilize the time till result as well as till mains?
So this is something which is very common after every year, after every prelims. So student would be worrying about the cutoff and which question is right, which question is wrong, which should go into the so disputed one, like this. So I firmly believe, and in fact I tell the students also, please don't waste any time on this. This is completely so you cannot, something which you cannot do much about. You have given your prelims, you have given your best. Okay, so now you did some basic analysis. Okay, so you have a rough idea. So please start with the mains preparation immediately without any further delay. One thing, this time the mains is in the last week of August itself. There is a less time of nearly 1 month. And second, even if you are doubtful about clearing prelims, anyway you will have to prepare for next year, right? And this is the best time for that. So give your 100% attention for mains preparation, focusing on those areas which were not covered under prelims and you want to add on. Okay, so for example, the ethics part, or even the society or governance, IR related parts. And most importantly, focus on answer writing. Because this is the best time for, so focusing completely on answer writing, as well as be thorough with optional.
So, when we talk about geography, environment, and disaster management, so how important these subjects are for me?
Yeah, so if at all I have to talk about the overall weightage of these sections, combined together, geography, environment, and disaster management will carry around 175 marks out of 750.
Almost.
Yes, yes. So that covers both paper 1 as well as, GS1 as well as GS3. So it carries a very significantly high amount of weightage. And in terms of approach, there's a slight difference in terms of the prelims as well as mains. And talking about the nature of the questions, many of the questions are like pretty simple and direct. Some of the questions can be easily linked with the current affairs and can be managed. So if one prepares well in these sections, the scoring is guaranteed. Okay, so that's why I always tell the students, please focus something on more on the answer writing aspect at this point of time in geography, environment, as well as disaster management, so that your GS score will be pushed upwards.
And sir, what are the challenges the student face while tackling these subjects? Specifically, geography tend to be static, right? But a lot of questions are coming with a tinge of current affairs also in that. So, what are the challenges generally students face with these subjects?
So, one of the important challenges students face at this point of time, particularly for mains, is most of the students would have prepared geography and environment from a prelims perspective. Initially, they would have studied with both comprehensive manner, but once you are in the prelims mode, you tend to focus more on the prelims aspects only, like giving more importance to locations, and in environment talking mainly about so the recent initiatives or those factual information. You need to change the strategy and first shift your orientation towards the mains aspect now. Okay, so this is one of the challenge, the shifting from the prelims towards the mains. Second, most of the students focus mainly too much on the static part of geography and environment, and they tend to leave out the current aspect. And the trend is that in last 2 to 3 years, there's a more significance of current affairs. Okay, the questions are either directly asked from current affairs or they're mixing the static part with the current affairs. So they requires the updation of current affairs. In addition to this, there's certain specific aspects related to the answer rating of geography environment, so which students tend to ignore. So they think that it's very similar to other aspects of GS, though they write in the same manner. So there also the scoring becomes a little bit less. So if at all you had observed in the last 2 years, consecutively the marks in GS1 has been little bit lesser compared to the other papers. So this is one of the issue, the answer rating aspect. And other than the major challenge is the application part, because the main difference between the prelims and mains is more application oriented, analytical oriented. Okay, so a student knows about the information, but he finds it difficult to so put it in the answer and analytically describe it. So these are the major challenges faced by the students when we talk about the geography and environment section.
Sir, and to tackle this, we have this mains advanced course. So how does our Vision IAS mains advanced course tackle all these challenges that you have mentioned?
So the mains advanced program is specifically planned for those students who have some basic idea about general studies. Okay, those who had prepared general studies either through foundational aspect or prepared through prelims aspect, and those who want to update themselves for the mains purpose. Here the focus in geography environment section is mainly about giving importance to those areas which requires in-depth analysis. Okay, certain sections actually requires a in-depth analysis and detailed discussion for mains perspective. Because when you study the same topics from prelims point of view, you are not required to go in detail. Okay, so there we try to emphasize more on the mains aspect and try to interlink the various concepts and develop a broader detailed understanding. And in addition to that, our focus area is also going to be on the current updation. Many of the questions are going to be current related. We have seen this in the last 2 years, right? So we try to link the static part with the current affairs and try to put it in the current issues perspective. And third important aspect is application. Various theories, various concepts which you had studied as part of prelims as well as foundation part, we try to bring it a practical application, because that is what is expected in your answers in mains also. In addition, we also require to cover few of the aspects which are actually not covered in prelims area. Okay, so for example, in the last 1 or 2 years, there were a few questions on the social aspect, social geography, demography, population, settlement. Usually we don't focus too much on the prelims area. So we want to cover those main specific areas and develop so much broader idea over there. And we are going to make use of the previous year's questions and their analysis to identify the important themes and prepare the students accordingly. And main focus is going to be on the answer rating aspect. So how to make your present content more enriched and fit the requirement of UPSC.
And like as you sir talked about answer writing, and you also said previously, like there is one element where students lack when it comes to geography and environment also. So how does this mains advanced course address this part of answer writing?
So that's what, see, our entire classes, we have around 10 classes planned for geography, around 6 classes planned specifically for environment, just for value addition. In these entire classes, we are going to focus upon the topics from the question and answer format, and we try to give assignment to the students on daily basis, and that will be evaluated, feedback will be given through mentorship support is also there, and they can also come and discuss at the end of the class with the faculties. So our main focus area is like making the student ready for the exam. We believe that there is some content already they know, and now from there how to take it to the exam through value addition and more practice. There are certain basic aspects related to the answer rating in geography. One has to focus about that. For example, one has to add more value in terms of figures, maps, and so examples, facts, informations, or even the use of case studies. So that will enrich the answer. So we want to focus more about this, and so push the students towards that extra marks which they are aiming to achieve.
So sir, like as we are coming to an end of our session, what would you like to say to students who are feeling nervous about how to approach mains now?
See, I'd like to tell the same thing. Please don't waste time in contemplating about the prelims cutoff and all. So whatever you do, UPSC will always surprise you. You may be thinking that you are in the border, you may not clear. Okay, so let's plan for next year. And UPSC will come out with a surprise that you are qualifying, and you will tend to see that you should have prepared earlier. Okay, so even if you are thinking that you are very much comfortable zone, there are also cases where the student had got a negative result also. So the takeaway is you can never 100% judge UPSC, particularly when it comes to so the cutoff. There's always some element of uncertainty. So at this point of time, please don't waste time on that. Please focus more on your mains answer writing, focus on optional, and this time which you are going to spend is not at all going to be wasteful. Fine. And इस साल नहीं है तो next साल तो काम आना ही है ना. So you, unless it is your last attempt, so you have to work on mains.
Thank you so much, sir, for guiding our aspirants. So aspirants, as pointed out by sir, you don't have time to waste, so gear up for your mains. And I hope you have a good idea about our mains advanced course 2025. And if you want to know more about it, please do visit our website. Thank you.